Well guys, today's chapter of My Hero Academia, chapter 179, was somewhat of a letdown in my opinion. I know some people are going to disagree strongly, some people may agree with me, but the reason why I think this chapter didn't really do as well as it could have is because, honestly, Gentle should have won this fight already in this chapter in my opinion, but this fight was just dragged on unto the point where we don't really see the conclusion of it. We don't know who's going to win. I mean, I hope it's Gentle still, but I feel like he should have come out on top already in this chapter, but as it turns out, you know, they wanted to keep the fight going with some backstory of Gentle, yada yada yada, shit that I don't give a fuck about. And quite frankly, it is one of the worst chapters in my opinion that we've had this arc. Definitely not looking at the series as a whole, but in this arc, it is not really what I expect from Horikoshi. But you know what, at the end of the day, it is down to my opinion, and the reason why I said Gentle should have won already is because the fact that before he received his love boost from La Brava, he was putting up quite a big fight against Deku. Deku was not having a landslide upper hand against Gentle. It was very close, but at the end of the day, the only thing that Deku really had on Gentle was brute force. Other than that, Gentle was the superior fighter in this fight. So this boost should have really elevated Gentle to the point where he would easily have taken out Deku in my opinion. He should have easily been able to subdue Deku or do whatever he needed in order to make sure that Deku could not interfere. Now there is one good thing about this chapter that I really liked, and that is that we actually got to see Deku kinda shout out to Gentle why he shouldn't go to the UA Academy at this time. And he made this point with Eri, you know, a little girl that needs to smile who's never smiled before. A girl who's forgotten what it's like to smile. And this is actually something that I hope goes somewhere. I hope it's not just left in the dust, because if it is so much wasted potential. But at the same time, Horikoshi typically doesn't disappoint. So, you know, I have high hopes that he will be doing something big with this, regardless of who actually ends up on top. You know, if Deku ends up winning, I'm sure Gentle is gonna play a role somehow anyway. At least I hope that's the case, seeing as he is an entertainer at the end of the day, and Eri needs some entertainment, right? So if the festival doesn't meet her standards in how to smile, maybe Gentle and La Brava can pull something that will actually bring a smile on Eri's face. I've said this in a few other reviews and I still hope this is the case. However, I do think this fight didn't really go the way it probably could have, you know, if we wanted that best outcome really, because Deku needs to take an L honestly, and he just didn't. Well, yet. I mean, obviously he still could. I just felt like this love boost from La Brava was supposed to give Gentle a huge boost, not just a teeny bit. But from what we saw in this fight, it didn't really boost Gentle all that much really. It didn't make me feel like Gentle was on a crazy power boost, because he wasn't doing that much better from what he did before he received the boost. So I really hope that Horikoshi makes the best of the situation, given the path that this fight has now taken. I mean, I'm sure it could be handled well. I mean, Horikoshi has surprised me before in a positive way, so I'm not really gonna jump the gun and say this fight is going to end up being the worst fight we've ever seen. I do, however, think it has the potential to be one of the most underwhelming fights that Deku's had, at least. Maybe not in the whole series, but at least out of Deku's fights. This may end up as one of his most underwhelming fights yet. But, you know, I'm gonna kind of keep that to myself until the fight is fully over, because it's really hard to judge a fight before it's completed, you know. So I'm not gonna go full rant in this video. I mean, I kind of did a bit of ranting at the beginning, but I'm not really gonna go out and say this fight is absolute trash, because it's not trash, it's just underwhelming so far. But, you know, it could still take a leap, you know, and become something great. I just don't see how, but as I said, Horikoshi can surprise me. He's done it before, and I am sure he will do it again. I just hope this is one of those times. So, Gentle's backstory, although I didn't really care too much about it, we kind of got the intel that he wanted to become a hero when he was younger. He was going to a hero school. I don't think it was specified if he went to the UA Academy, but he did attempt to take the provisional hero license exam a few times and he failed each one. So he wasn't really the greatest hero, you know, he didn't really have what it took to be a hero compared to some other people, and that kind of led him onto this dark path. You know, he started to become unemployed and all of that. He had a very bad turn of events in his life. Like, he didn't really have a great life up until the point when he started making these gentle videos. Of course, that's kind of when his life turned around, I guess, but before that, well, between that and him being in whatever school he was in when he was training to become a hero, he was living on very low standards. You know, he was, as they call it, a freeter, which is like someone who doesn't have full employment, and you know, his wife left him, all of these kind of shit, you know, all kinds of downs just piled up on Gentle's end, and that eventually turned into the Gentle that we now know, you know, someone who just wants to entertain, yada yada yada, you know. It was a lot of information, of course, to take in from one chapter, in my opinion. Like, it really just piled up a lot. But the big thing in this backstory that we got is that when he came up to his old classmate, he didn't recognize Gentle, and that's why I think Gentle wanted this recognition. He wanted to be someone that people would know, and that's where it all started. And of course, later on he'll met La Brava and stuff like that. But yeah, so we kind of know both La Brava's backstory now, we know Gentle's backstory, which is okay, but it kind of gives me the feeling that these characters may end up not being very relevant apart from this arc, which is a shame, honestly, but that's kind of the vibe that I'm getting. But yeah, with that said, I'm gonna end this video here, so let me know what you think down below in the comments. Like, did you like this chapter, or did you kind of like me, not really like this chapter too much, but at the same time, it wasn't a straight up bad chapter? Or maybe it was, in your opinion, what do I know, right? Anyway, if you did, be sure to Detroit smash that like button if you enjoyed, and subscribe if you haven't already. This has been Chaotic Plus, and remember everyone, Toga is waifu, Toga is laifu.